Have you ever imagined earning real money just from playing video games?
Like actually earning.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's actually what's happening now with this whole rise of play-to-earn games.
Right.
You know, PDE, or P2E as the kids call
Yeah,
it.
P2E.
And we're talking about games that are built on blockchain technology,
Blockchain. Yeah.
where you can earn these tokens that have real value, like in the real world.
It's crazy.
It's pretty wild.
It is really fascinating how blockchain is like changing gaming.
Yeah.
It's not just a hobby anymore.
Right?
It's like a potential investment.
Exactly. And that's why today we're diving deep into Goat Tapper.
Okay.
It's one of those P2E games that's making a splash.
Right.
Promising a fun experience and, maybe a chance to earn some cash.
Sweet.
Our source for this deep dive is this excerpt from Investing in Goat Tapper, a guide to the future of gaming tokens.
Okay.
So is Goat Tapper all hype, or is it the real deal?
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
All right, so first things first.
Yeah.
What is Goat Tapper?
Yeah, what is it?
You know, when you hear that name, you probably think of some mindless tapping game.
Yeah.
But it's actually quite a bit more than that.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So Goat Tapper has like a surprisingly deep gameplay experience.
Okay.
You collect and upgrade a variety of characters, items, and even like unique skins.
Okay.
There are achievements to unlock, and you can even trade all these assets with other players.
So like a whole ecosystem built around these assets.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's where the token economy comes in.
Okay.
So as you play, you earn Goat Tapper tokens.
Okay.
But here's the catch.
What's the catch?
There's a limited supply of these tokens.
Limited supply. You know what that means.
I know what that means.
Scarcity.
Scarcity.
And in the world of economics, scarcity usually leads to...
Increased value.
Boom.
Yeah, it's like a limited edition comic book or a rare baseball card.
Oh, yeah?
The fewer there are, the more people are willing to pay for them.
So the more people that play Goat Tapper and demand for those tokens goes up, their value could potentially skyrocket.
Potentially.
But why should someone choose to invest in Goat Tapper over all the other P2E games out there?
So there are a few reasons.
Yeah.
First, the P2E gaming market is exploding.
Really?
It's projected to reach like $200 billion by 2025.
Wow.
And Goat Tapper, with its impressive 5 million active players, is in a prime position to ride that wave of growth.
5 million players.
5 million.
That's a lot of people tapping goats.
A lot of Goat Tappers.
I guess it's not just about the hype, though.
Right.
What else makes Goat Tapper stand out?
One thing that sets it apart is this community-driven development model.
Okay.
The developers actually listen to the players and are constantly evolving the game based on their feedback.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Like, for example,
Yeah.
remember when players could only trade items with others in their geographic region?
Oh, yeah.
The community spoke up, the developers listened.
Yeah.
They implemented global trading,
Okay.
which made the game's economy way more dynamic.
That's a great example of how community feedback can shape the game.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like you're a part of something bigger.
Right. It's not just like some big corporation telling you what to do.
Exactly.
They're listening.
And for those who are concerned about security, Goat Tapper uses blockchain technology, meaning you have true ownership of your in-game assets.
True ownership.
No one can take those away from you.
Nope.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Especially when you're talking about assets that could have real-world value.
Absolutely.
It's like having a digital vault for your Goat Tapper treasure.
I like that.
But how does someone actually get started with all this?
Okay, so you would need to set up a digital wallet
Got it.
that's compatible with the Binance Smart Chain,
Okay.
which is the blockchain network that Goat Tapper uses.
Okay.
MetaMask is a popular option.
So MetaMask is like your digital wallet.
It is.
What's the Binance Smart Chain all about?
So the Binance Smart Chain allows for like faster transactions and significantly lower fees compared to some other blockchains.
Right.
And that's really important when you're buying, selling, or trading your Goat Tapper tokens.
Yeah. You don't want to lose your profits to fees.
Exactly.
Low fees are always a good thing.
Always.
So you set up your MetaMask wallet.
Yep.
You figure out this Binance Smart Chain thing. Then what?
Then you would buy Goat Tapper tokens on a supported cryptocurrency exchange and, of course, start playing the game.
Okay.
Learn the ins and outs of the game. Understand how to earn tokens and explore all those different assets we talked about.
So it's not just about buying the tokens and hoping they go up in value.
Right.
You have to engage with the game.
You got to play the game.
You got to play the game.
It's all about understanding the ecosystem, learning how to play strategically, and maybe even discovering some rare items that could become incredibly valuable in the future.
Now, I've been hearing a lot about this thing called the metaverse.
Metaverse.
How does Goat Tapper fit into that whole concept?
That's where things get really interesting. The metaverse is essentially a network of interconnected virtual worlds.
Okay.
Imagine a persistent online space where you can work, play, socialize, and even own digital property.
So it's like taking the internet as we know it now
Yeah.
and turning it into a 3D immersive experience.
Exactly.
That sounds pretty wild.
It does.
It definitely has the potential to be revolutionary. And what's exciting is that Goat Tapper isn't just aiming to exist in the metaverse.
Right.
They want to make their assets interoperable across different virtual worlds.
Interoperable.
What does that mean exactly?
Imagine you've spent all this time and resources building up your collection of rare Goat Tapper characters and items.
Okay, yeah.
What if you could take those same assets and use them in other games, other virtual spaces?
So it's not like your Goat Tapper stuff is trapped in one game.
Nope.
You could potentially take it with you to these different virtual experiences.
That's the vision.
That's mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing.
That's really cool.
It is.
But how would that actually work?
Well, it's still early days, but there are a few different approaches being explored.
Okay.
Some platforms are focusing on creating open standards that allow different games and virtual worlds to communicate with each other.
Yeah.
Kind of like a universal language for digital assets.
So it's like creating common ground where all these different virtual worlds can understand each other.
Exactly.
And your Goat Tapper character can just seamlessly transition between them.
Seamlessly.
That's really cool.
And this is where blockchain technology really comes into play.
Okay.
Because each digital asset, each Goat Tapper character or item, is essentially a unique token on the blockchain. It can be tracked and verified across different platforms.
So it's like having a digital passport for your Goat Tapper character,
I like that.
proving its authenticity and ownership no matter where you go in the metaverse.
Exactly.
That's a really good analogy.
Thank you.
And that level of security and transparency is crucial for building a thriving economy within the metaverse. Because if people are going to be investing time and money into these digital assets,
Right.
they need to know they're secure
Absolutely.
and that their ownership is protected.
Ownership is key.
Yeah. But let's zoom out for a moment and think about the bigger picture.
Okay.
What are some of the potential implications of this kind of interoperability,
Right.
both for Goat Tapper and for the metaverse as a whole?
Well, for Goat Tapper, it could mean a massive expansion of their player base.
Okay.
If your Goat Tapper assets can be used in other games, it suddenly becomes a lot more appealing to a wider audience.
It's like cross-promotion on a whole new level.
Exactly.
Instead of being limited to the Goat Tapper community,
Right, yeah.
you're tapping into the entire metaverse.
The whole metaverse.
That's a good one.
And for the metaverse, it could lead to a more diverse and interconnected ecosystem of virtual experiences.
Okay.
Instead of having all these walled gardens,
Right.
we could see a more seamless and fluid transition between different worlds with digital assets flowing freely between them.
It's like breaking down the barriers between virtual worlds and creating a truly immersive and interconnected metaverse.
That's the goal.
That's really cool.
It is cool.
And it's not just about gaming.
Right.
Think about the potential for social interactions, for commerce, for education, for all kinds of human activities within these virtual spaces.
Possibilities are endless.
Okay, my mind is officially blown.
It's a lot to take in.
We've gone from tapping goats to talking about the future of human interaction
It's a big jump.
in the metaverse.
Yeah.
But let's bring it back down to earth for a moment.
Okay.
What are some of the challenges that need to be overcome to make this vision a reality?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, the technology is still very much in development.
Yeah.
We need to create robust and secure systems for managing these digital assets across different platforms.
Okay.
And we need to make sure that these systems are scalable enough to handle the massive amount of data and transactions that will be happening in the metaverse.
So it's not just about creating the technology.
Right.
It's about making sure it can handle the demands of a thriving metaverse.
Metaverse at scale.
Exactly. And then there are the social and economic implications to consider.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
How do we ensure fair and equitable access to the metaverse?
Right.
How do we prevent monopolies and ensure a level playing field for creators and developers?
Those are big questions.
It's like we're building a whole new society
We are.
within these virtual spaces, and we need to think carefully about the rules and structures that will govern that society.
It's like a digital Wild West out there.
Yeah.
We need some rules.
We need some law and order.
Law and order.
Exactly. And it's a conversation that needs to involve a wide range of stakeholders,
For sure.
from technologists and developers
Yeah.
to policymakers and ethicists.
Everyone needs to be at the table.
It's a massive undertaking, but it's also incredibly exciting.
It is.
It feels like we're standing at the dawn of a new era.
It does feel that way.
And Goat Tapper is right there on the front lines, pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
They're definitely pioneers.
Yeah, they are.
It'll be fascinating to see how the game and the metaverse as a whole evolve in the years to come.
So we've explored the metaverse.
We have.
And Goat Tapper's potential role within it.
Yeah.
But let's not forget about the elephant in the room.
The elephant.
The investment potential.
Yes.
Is Goat Tapper really worth putting your hard-earned money into?
That's the million-dollar question.
It is the million-dollar question.
And like with any investment, there are no guarantees.
Right.
But let's break down some of the factors that could influence Goat Tapper's future value.
Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty
Nitty-gritty.
of Goat Tapper as an investment.
All right.
What should our listener be paying attention to?
Well, one of the key things to consider here is the overall growth of the P2E gaming market.
Okay.
As we mentioned earlier, this market is projected to reach $200 billion by 2025.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's a huge potential market.
Yeah.
And Goat Tapper, with its already substantial player base, is in a good position to capture a significant chunk of it.
So the rising tide of P2E gaming could lift all boats, including Goat Tapper.
Exactly.
But what about Goat Tapper specifically?
Okay.
What are some of its strengths